Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Yes. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to dig into something today that fascinates me. I always have questions about it. I'm going to say you probably do as well. Karma. We just hear about this. Karma is real. Karma police are pulling up. The karma train will be pulling up for that person. Lots of questions about that. Reincarnation as well. And she is somebody who knows all about that. Energy healing, hypnotherapy, many modalities to make you feel better and also understand this whole thing called the universe. And she's back with us. Hania Wilkos is on the program. Hania, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you for this topic and this time. I really want to get your feelings on karma. And I've heard, I hear it both ways. There's good karma, there's bad karma. Some people believe that there's only negative karma. Some people believe there's both. What do you believe?
Well, karma is a word that means basically the law of attraction. We had a saying our parents told us many times, be careful what you wish for, because
Yes.
you wish for, then it might come. Somebody said, oh, I said it in the wrong hour and it came true. Or somebody said, oh, I told you it's going to happen. It's simply because we create. Karma is an effect of our thoughts, our feelings combined, which creates realization of what we imagining based on whatever we believe at the moment, whatever there is that we talk about, and it's going to come about simply because what goes up must come down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's just like we had in the last podcast, we were talking about the water, the ice, and the vapor. And it's still water in just a different form. So this is basically karma. What happens when you start heating ice? It melts. If it starts boiling, it becomes vapor. So that's karma. You can look at water as karma, which means the law of cause and effect. My mom said, how you make your bed, that's how you're going to sleep in it. I took it literally.
Mine says all of those. She said all of those same exact things. And now I see some of them do come true. Like, be careful what you wish for. I am 115% on board for that. It is manifestation. I've experienced it. There was things that I would think and say to myself that were not the greatest thing. They all came true. Not that I was wishing for them. That's the other part. It's not that, you want bad things to happen to you. You just think negatively, and they do. So that being said, what we do, things we do, people do that aren't good. You hurt others, steal money.
It's a judgment, but you don't realize by hurting others, you're actually hurting yourself. There's no difference.
Explain.
When you wish to somebody to happen something that it's not desirable, it's going to happen to you. It's energy. The wish and the emotion, the word that you speak, it belongs to you. It belongs to you. Just because you wish it upon another makes no difference. It might happen to another if the another is afraid, knows that you're wishing bad, and it's afraid that you're going to curse him or whatever. Then it might affect another person. But actually, there's no difference because belongs to you. You are the owner of the thought, the emotion that follows, and the vision you have, the picture. Since it belongs to you, it's going to happen to you. People just do not understand the basic laws of metaphysics, quantum physics. There's no difference.
Okay. So let's say somebody says of somebody else, bad person. I hope they get hit by a car. Yeah, they deserve it. How does that affect the person saying it?
The person might be get hit by a car, being in a car. It might get somebody from their family or let's say relative of friends might get hit by a car, might have a car accident, and they're going to hear about it and it's going to affect them in some way.
And
It might affect them that, let's say they go to a client or they go to work, they get late, they can't get to work, so they lose the pay. It will affect them one way or the other, depending on the energy that we put behind that feeling, that wish. That's why when people go to places where they buy, let's say, candles with some spells on it, right? For love, to attract love. Actually, they're going to burn that candle. If they believe in it, then they basically attracting that love, not because of that burning candle, but because of their belief that it's going to come to them. But the person who made that candle for wealth, for love, for prosperity of all kinds, actually it's coming to that person, that witch, or however you want to call her, because it's her energy she's putting in. So whatever she gives to the person that buys that candle, that spell from her, there is a positive wish, a lot of positive energy, and she expends that and it comes back to her multiply, because she's sharing that spell with somebody else, that it's going to come to it because they believe in it. That's how healing happens. People go to holy places, drink holy waters, and they say that it healed them. Their belief in it healed them. It might have a special properties, might have a higher vibration, and that higher vibration, when you consume something, it's going to go into your body, and your body might cause a healing in your body because it's supported with your belief system. So that's what it is. So we create constantly, we constantly live in the effect of our thoughts, which means we first create in our mind with our emotions, and then we live that karma, that effect. And there was a saying, Dr. Wayne Dyer said, you never get enough of what you don't want. And I'm thinking, what do you mean you never get enough? If I don't want it, it won't happen, right? But just think about it. You never get enough of what you don't want. An alcoholic is never going to get enough booze. The drug addict is never going to get enough drugs. The sex addict never gets enough sex. It's never satisfied. Why? Because if it doesn't want it, right? It's the wanting. You don't want it. And you put all your energy to it. I don't want to drink that booze anymore. So basically, energy flows where attention goes. What you put attention on, that booze, and that hate, it doesn't matter if it's love or hate, it's energy. And it will create an effect, which means it's going to give you more hunger for that booze, for that sex, for that cigarette, or whatever that is. And I'm like, okay, so basically it's like a reverse psychology with that. But that's what it is. You never get enough of that, because you're putting your attention to it. And that's part of karma.
Interesting. What you're saying, Hania, is essentially our subconscious. It doesn't know the difference. So yeah, I don't want any more booze. I really want to stop. Mm-hmm. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference. It's just hearing want booze, want booze, want booze. And then what do? Crack one open.
Correct. Another thing, we keep talking war on drugs, war on whatever, war. What do you get more? War. We have war rooms. War room. Why peace room? Create a peace room and you're going to get peace. People march. I think I said that before, and they have no more war. Okay. What do they want? Actually, they want more war because they concentrate on war. If you say we desire peace, more peace, then they're going to say peace, and the war will disappear. This is the very old knowledge, Hermetica, which was taught from mouth to ear many years ago. Hermes Trismegistus was one of those wise men, which means 3 times great. And he was in Egypt, supposedly, because that's what we have. And there are books on it. And people in the high places, in the very high places, that are teachable, because you might have a person that it's on the very high, let's say, place, in a high place somewhere, and will not know the laws because the person is not teachable. It doesn't want to learn. You just tell me what to do, I'll do it. I don't want to know how. And that's a mistake, because if you would know how, nobody has to tell you. And that's what I also implement in my hypnosis and therapy. So when we know all those laws of cause and effect, which means karma, we would start thinking about, okay, so Earth is not a pleasant place to be if you're born in the wrong country, in the wrong family. Your life might be very difficult. And you're coming here, so you say, okay, I'm going to get rid of the karma so I don't have to come back. There's no way. That circle of karma is going to follow you until you get out of astral plane. That's where pretty much all those beings that people talk to, get messages from, etc., the so-called angels are coming from. They're coming from astral world, because they attach themselves to our body and they shine our own light. That's why they're nice and bright. So those laws, you're going to be stuck with that until you have an understanding, the knowledge of the Hermetic basic 7 laws. And then you can start creating your life. My hypnosis helps because I'll help you to analyze everything, remove whatever you don't want and transform to something else, because we can't kill energy. You can only change it or you can throw it away. I don't want to dirty the universe with our dirty deeds. So I said, why don't you transform it to something you prefer? It's your energy. We're amazing producers of energy. So that's how, when you have an understanding of karma, how you create everything, and you go under hypnosis and you can see it with your soul eyes, then you can decide, you can decide if you want to come back to begin with. So you're not, nobody's going to push you back in. You're going to say, no, thank you. I've done my lessons. I didn't come here. I was pure. My soul was pure. So I don't need all that. I played your game.
So there's a lot here to unpack. And that's why if people want to dig deeper, they can contact you. Let's go basic here. So when it comes to karma, do you believe in bad karma and good karma?
Yeah, well, that's because we have duality. So that's going to be bad and good because we have an unpleasant experience, but it's still only experience. It's just like I said, what's the difference between flower and a weed? An opinion. What's good for one might not be good for another. Let's say alcohol. Alcohol is bad if you're addicted to it, but it can also disinfect a wound so it can heal better, right? You let's say bleach. You can which is the hydrogen peroxide, right? You can bleach your clothes, and you can if you consume it in a big amount, it can hurt you. Or you can also clean the wound with the hydrogen peroxide. So we have a duality. So it's basically our opinion is going to tell you if it's good or bad.
Well,
if you're allergic to something, okay, let's say berries or whatever, you're allergic, you're going to have a reaction. It's bad, but berries are not bad.
No,
It's
you may love
just
them and have no reaction. Let's give an example. Let's say somebody stole money from you, large sum of money.
Mhm.
And let's say it was a best friend and they just behind your back and you discovered it. You didn't do anything to them. You trusted them to keep it. Okay. Didn't do anything. In the karma world, how would you view that overall for both parties?
well, the one that took something that it wasn't his, it's going to pay the price. It's going to lose it one way or the other. It might pay with health. It might pay with just a loss of something else. The person that was, let's say, the victim, uh, it somehow, anywhere you go, you got to take your wisdom with you. Okay. So you're not supposed to be trusty of another person. I mean, I don't want to use the word victim, but let's say victim of somebody cheating me of a lot of money on some property years ago. And
Mhm.
I didn't do anything. I didn't write the right contract. I didn't take the person to court to receive it back because I believed the karma will take care of itself, and it did.
And it did.
But and I didn't do anything to contribute to it that I would take from somebody to $300,000, and that's why somebody didn't pay me. But your energy vibrates, your emotions vibrate. If you don't have a trust in something, then you're going to attract somebody that is going to break that trust, that it's going to prove you that it works. If you don't have a trust, and you don't take your wits with you, you don't support yourself with, because knowledge is there and laws are there on earth with the contract or with,
I want,
well,
I want to break this down even deeper, if I may.
okay.
So, in our situation here that we're talking about, what if you trusted somebody? Maybe you have trust issues. Let's just say, because that's what I'm getting from you. Let's say you have general trust issues for whatever reason. Maybe something happened in your past. And then you trusted them with money. Please hold it for me. They took it. Is it because you had some trust issues over here that they may have taken it, even though you could be totally connected family, whatever it is? Did you bring that on yourself?
In a way, yes, simply because there's a belief system somewhere. I'm going to use myself as an example. My mom, as I said before, I was raised on communism. So my mom said that people with a lot of money, they're crooks. A taxi driver, a prostitute, and politician have a lot of money because they scam people. Okay. So I've heard that since I was little. Okay. So that is a program. You have to remove that program. You have to transform it into something you do want to believe. That was her experience. And I can't say she was wrong. I cannot judge my mother because she heard from somebody else, right? So she was programmed when she was little and she lived in the wartime. So there was a belief system somewhere that people are not honest. You trust the person, but you didn't take your intelligence, your brain with you to still support yourself legally. And you shouldn't trust people with certain things simply because it might be tempting. And that's still not your fault that somebody took it, but there must have been somewhere a belief system. And when you go on the hypnosis and we go in to that event and we go before that event, because I want to know what happened before that. And I said, what is your emotion? How do you feel? What do you feel? Where do you feel it? How long did you have that feeling? And we can go back far. And then I say, what connection does that feeling has to this incident? And then everything becomes understandable.
Clear.
Everything becomes clear because the person saw and he said, oh, that's how it happened. So we basically attract certain individuals. It's not that they did it because we wanted them. You attract certain people to you to match your vibration, because what we think about most of the time, it will come to us, will create it. It's there's many books on it, on the things our thoughts are things, and sooner or later they'll come to fruition if they have enough of energy, other thoughts that vibrate on the same frequency. That's why I said we have energy, vibration, and frequency. And each of our body is on a different frequency. The physical body, you can see it because it's on the lower frequency, just like the thought that came to be a thing. But our soul is much higher frequency. That's why you can't see it.
I feel a lot of us don't look at our thoughts as being things. We think that they become things, but they're things. And it's like you're handing things to people just by thinking them. Couple of minutes left. I want to ask you, we started talking about this before we got on, and you mentioned something about your background here on a Zoom video. And if somebody's listening and not watching the video, it looks like sort of a swirling universe with, blue and stars. That's the best description I have. Why does this have meaning for you?
The pattern that it's there, I see it at night and I see it in the morning. Or if I wake up at night or in the morning and I am not completely, I'm in that kind of zone and I open my eyes, I can see with the eyes of my soul. Same thing when I walk by, like this morning at 4:00 when I got up, I was still kind of sleepy and I looked at my salt lamp. And the light from a salt lamp, but I see it differently. I saw it with the eyes of my soul, and it had different colors, not a rainbow, but it was like it had a little bit different colors coming to much more vibrant.
Why do you think you see that?
I always saw that. I just didn't know other people don't see it. I see kind of like a sparkles coming from anything shiny or light. I can see the lines between the street lights. There is a light that connects them. It's kind of like ultraviolet, bluish, white. And I see that.
Why?
And I thought, because I guess my third eye, they call it, is open to a certain degree. Like I can't see. I could see aura. I see the aura of my plants, but I can't see like psychics see, but I have like intuitive visions, I would say, because I still can see like a picture, but it's not clear like I see you. But the impression, the feeling, it's like a blueprint is so strong that I can see it. That's when you ask me if I can see entities attached to people. I do. Like I can see certain things flying in cloudy weather that other people can't see, and I know it's there. It's a knowing.
We should talk about that next time we get together.
Right.
It's kind of fascinating. And in terms of karma, just do the right thing. That's it. No matter what you're thinking, and we have traumas from the past and trust issues and all of that. Just do the right thing and go with your gut. If you think you should not give your sibling money to hold for you or whatever, then don't do it. Listen from within. You know the answer. What's your website, Hania?
Wilkos.com.
Yeah. Always great talking with you. Interesting today in terms of karma. Lots of questions answered. With background. And I appreciate that. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to be looking at the lights now and seeing if I see connections there. Try to open up my third eye.
You can see him in the corner of your eye.
Thank you for saying that. I'm going to be looking and look forward to talking next week.
Thank you very much.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.